You're always doing better than you think. I'm always doing better than I think. And this is something that has come up for me a lot is like whether I'm stressing about finances or my spending, or I'm stressing about my fitness journey and how consistent I'm being, or I'm stressing about my mental health. And I feel like I can't really pinpoint what's going on inside of me and I feel off, but I feel like I can't pinpoint it. Maybe I'm focusing on things in my life that are going wrong and I'm really, really trying to turn these obstacles into opportunities, but it just feels like I am resisting that as well. And I'm choosing to stay stuck in this negativity because that's what I'm used to. I always find out that, like, when I actually go and check these things and I confront these things, I notice that I'm always doing better than I think. And it's the same for clients, it's the same for you. You're always doing better than you think. You're always doing better than you think. You just are, right? Like if we were actually at take a second, right? And I don't know what each person is going through individually, but regardless of what we're all going through, right? Whether it's financial stressors or, just self-inflicted overwhelm and fear and anxiety, um whatever it is, right? We are always doing better than we think. If you were to reflect on where you are, who you were, the person that you were 3, 4 years ago, like 3, 4 years ago was 2020. What the actual F? Like 2020, do you guys not remember the whole world shut down and like we thought the world was ending? And so, like, that's just another example of how things are never as bad as they seem. Things are never as bad as they seem. You're always doing better than you think. You're always doing better than you think. And I think it's easier said than done, right? Like, easy to say, right? But when you're in those moments of, high stress and you're perceiving that stress as negative and you're running away from certain thoughts, certain things, certain feelings, it can be easy to be like, okay, yeah, easy to say. Um, but really it's a choice. It's a choice, it's a perspective. It's a perspective that everything is working out for me. But if you are committed to the idea that everything is happening to you and that you are the victim of your reality, right? That's your dominant belief is like things are happening to me. Why me? Why me? Why is this happening to me? Then you're missing out on a lot of opportunity for growth. You're missing out on a lot of opportunity to shift and evolve. And I'm not saying that it's easy. Fuck no. Like, it honestly feels good to be the victim, right? Because when you're the victim, you're not taking responsibility. You're not looking at your reality and going, what part of this is actually my own doing? And who can I ask for help? What part of me is not communicating to people, or I'm not making my needs heard? What part of me is holding myself back? What part of me is entertaining things that I know aren't good for me, but I just do it anyway, right? Like, taking responsibility is the first step, because you can't be able to claim everything's working out for me, I'm always doing better than I think, if you can't take responsibility for the areas that you are responsible for. And that's hard sometimes, right? Because when we take responsibility, that means that we're basically accepting a little bit of the shame and guilt that comes with standing up and going, yeah, that's on me. You know, that's on me. I made a mistake, or, fell off track. I gave into my comfort. This just is what it is. Right. And you know what? I forgive myself. And forgiving yourself is the key, right? Just to be a little bit vulnerable here, guys. I'm definitely like money mindset and my own physical health and fitness, prioritizing myself has been honestly the main theme for like literally my life, but like especially this year. It's just like it's one of those things, right, where you can give somebody can make more money, right? But if that person never works on their money mindset, then it doesn't matter how much they are making, it doesn't matter how much they're saving, they're gonna find a way to spend it. You're gonna find a way to manifest something that makes you like literally have to pay up or something like that, right? And that's something that I have just been working on, where it's like I've had to heal a lot of shame and guilt with my spending habits. And this isn't to say like I'm going crazy or anything like that, but I think, I really, like, since I was young, you know what I mean? I've always kind of like, if I got more money, I would have, oh my God, now I can buy this thing and now I can buy this thing. Because why do we buy things? Because we feel like it's going to make us feel something. And a lot of times it does, right? So there's certain things that I invest in, like my nails, my beauty, my self-care is something that I 100% invest in, my health, because that is a true investment in my overall quality of life and my like literal quality of life, how I feel on a daily basis. And that also affects my relationships, my work, my creativity, everything like that, right? So my health and my self-care is like top priority in terms of finances. Um, and then, I would just find myself just like overspending, but like not consciously. You know what I mean? Like it wasn't like consciously, and maybe like we're doing an event a certain weekend or, whatever. But basically what I'm trying to get from this is like, it can be easy to feel unworthy of a goal or unworthy of something, whether that is financial security or freedom, or that is your dream physique, or a relationship, a healthy, passionate relationship, right? Whatever that is, whatever what comes up for you, it can be easy to feel like, "Ugh, I'm not worthy of that because I don't show up, or I'm not worthy of that because I fucked up so much in the past, right? Or I'm not worthy or trustworthy of this because I don't trust myself." Whoa. Like, what? Like, this is actually a really good outlet for me, honestly. I feel like I'm getting a lot of clarity. And what I mean by that is like, when we have so much shame and guilt around something. So maybe for you, it's your health and fitness. Maybe you're really killing it, you're on track, and then like you miss out on one or two things on a day or two, and it makes you feel like it's really holding you back in your progress, and you store some shame and some feelings of guilt, or maybe you eat something that you feel, or you were programmed to feel or think isn't quote unquote like good, like you quote unquote shouldn't have it, right? Like you were always told that, it's in the media, the societal programming of like should and shouldn't and can't, and like, oh my God, it's just, guys, yeah, we won't even get into that right now, but it's like you store this shame and guilt within an area of your life where you feel like you constantly fall short, or you feel like you constantly set goals and you fall off track, or you set goals for it and you just don't, like, there's like a certain period of time where you kind of just stray off, or you lose sight, or you get down on yourself. And because you get down on yourself and you're storing the shame and guilt, and you're not taking responsibility, it makes you feel like a victim. So then you just go, no, I'm not worthy, I'm not going to take any action at all because I'm not worthy. Right, and this isn't like a conscious thing, guys. Like, a lot of the times we're not consciously thinking, "Oh, I'm not worthy, like, I'm not gonna, like, take action even though I know it's what's good for me." A lot of the times this will show up, this self-sabotage will show up as just, like, laziness, or just choosing comfort, or the instant gratification. And that's why getting really curious about your patterns, your thoughts, your belief systems is so valuable, because it allows you to identify, like, okay, where am I storing shame and guilt around this situation? Where do I need to forgive myself? Because if we can't forgive ourselves, then it's going to be really hard to receive that positive affirmation of like everything is always working out for me, right? And I also want to say, guys, like, use discernment, like, with my messages, you know what I mean? Like, I obviously work with clients every day where there are things that are like if they were to hear if hear some of what I'm saying like in the beginning of like everything like ask like everything is happening for you not to you, right? It can be triggering because that doesn't mean that it's your fault that bad things happen to you. Like it's not your fault if shitty things happen to you. Like that's the first thing I want to say. And our feelings are so valid when like our feelings are so valid when things come up and we don't feel good about it and we get in our head and like I fell into that yesterday, you know what I mean? And I have to really give myself that grace. Because I think especially when you're like an overachiever or you're a very disciplined person and you pride yourself on being a disciplined, strong, achieving person, um, or maybe you pride yourself on being the giver, like you take care of people, you're always, whatever you pride yourself in, we have to be okay with not showing up as that all the time. Like, you don't always have to be so strong. You don't always have to be the one who takes care of everybody else. Like, you really don't. Um, it's okay to celebrate your wins. It's okay to reflect on your growth. It's okay to take a break and slow down. And I promise you, slowing down doesn't mean that like everything's gonna fall apart. Like I promise you, because if you relate to me, then you're probably a control freak in some way, shape, or form. But we are not identifying with that anymore. If you're someone who always says I'm a control freak, I'm a perfectionist, uh, you know, I am somebody who never prioritizes myself, whatever is something that you constantly hear yourself saying a lot, I want you to release that and like work on releasing that and we'll do that together. And what's super cool is that like our clients, like women in our community, when they're talking to us specifically, when I say us, I mean me and Coach Kiana, our other head coach on the team, she's amazing. They're very aware of their language when they're talking to us, right? It's like they're very aware of their language. And if you're a client listening, I love you to death. And like you probably noticed this, right? If you're talking to me or Coach K, you're aware of how you're talking about yourself. You're reframing certain things because you know how powerful it is. So how come when you're talking to your mom or a friend, when you're alone, you don't keep that same energy, right? Or maybe you do and great, good. But like a lot of the times, even for me, when I'm, it depends on my environment, right? But I'm still always aware. I always try my best to be aware. But it's so important to work on forgiving yourself for the areas that you may have fallen short or life circumstances honestly just shook up your life and you had to really just go into survival mode for a bit. Like that's okay. You know what I mean? Like that's okay. That's okay. It's all okay. It's all good. um Everything is working out for you. You're always doing better than you think. I am always doing better than I think. I'm always doing better than I think. I be stressing about shit because there's things happening in my life, in my physical reality that makes me doubt myself or doubt things and, go into negative spaces. And I have to pull myself out and remember, affirm, affirm, affirm. And then I go and I actually confront these fears. I confront these beliefs. I confront these projects. I confront and I go, let me find solutions. Let me look at this for what it is. Let me learn from this loss. Let me continue to shift things into things that are going to bring me positivity or things that are going to help me look at things in a more positive light because I fucking need it. You know what I mean? Like the days are going to pass anyway. Like you get to make that decision. And if it's very, very hard for you, I want you to ask yourself, like, where do you need to take responsibility or where do you need to release control? Where do you need to release control? Where do you need to make your needs heard? Because I swear to God, if you are not making your needs heard, but then you're also having this resentment and, I don't want to hear it because you need to speak up and I love you, but like speak the fuck up about your needs, whether that's in a relationship or in a coach client relationship, even, or, a, a roommate relationship or in your job from your manager or your leader, like speak the fuck up. And if you are speaking up, are you clear? Is this person understanding what you're getting from it? Is this situation, are you beating around the bush? Because honestly, y'all, like I am a health and nutrition coach, but I'm also a communication coach because because a lot of us as humans don't know how to communicate. Or we try to communicate and we don't, we're beating around the bush, or we don't want to hurt this person's feelings, or we don't say what we mean and mean what we say because we're concerned about how this person's going to take it. And it's a difficult skill, but like girl, like it's a powerful skill because you need to communicate. And like if my truth is in my hands and I'm telling you my truth and I'm telling you how I feel and I'm telling you what my needs are and I'm telling you my boundaries, and this external person gets upset about it, not on me. Sorry. Like that's up to you and the truth, you know? So all that to say, ask yourself, what do you need to do? What do you need for you? What boundaries do you need to set? Where do you need to take responsibility? Where do you need to be kinder to yourself? Where do you need to forgive? Where do you need to release control and surrender? And get really curious about that. Um yeah. So just wanted to chat about that. And I would love to hear like any thoughts, like if any of this brought up any feelings for you, negative or positive, or just getting curious about that, right? Because just because something may trigger you or bring up something for you doesn't necessarily mean it's bad or incongruent. It just means that it triggered something in you. And that can be a good way to kind of look within yourself and like what got triggered. What did I not like that I heard? Where, and get curious about that because I get triggered every day. Like I literally get triggered every day. And I understand the difference between when something is actually wrong, like for me, and when actually it's good feedback, but I may not like to hear it, or maybe it went against one of my belief systems, and our brain doesn't like when people say things that are against our belief systems or whatever. So get curious about that, and I would love to hear your thoughts. um I'm going to be uploading 2 podcasts today because I'm just feeling in that mood. Okay. And we also have our secret project that we are working on that I'm so excited to launch to you guys. And literally dropping that tomorrow. So a few of you guys voted. Some of you guys voted that it was going to be a 4-week one-on-one trial. Some of you guys voted that it was going to be an 8-week fitness challenge. Some of you guys voted that it was going to be a podcast tour. So I'm excited to kind of share what it is and be on the lookout. And yeah, I'm gonna wrap this podcast up here. Love you guys. Remember to share with a friend, tag me on Instagram, share in your story, leave a review, or you can even just DM me if there was anything powerful or curious that came up for you. All right, y'all. Love you so much. Have a great rest of your day and see you next time.